Never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming.
All right, here we are, Ice Price baby, back again for another edition of the Cornhole Journey. We are at Big League Dreams here in Mansfield, Texas. Right behind me where they play a lot of baseball and softball, Little League and all that fun stuff for the summer sports, but also in the indoor soccer field back there. We're going to play some cornhole today for the first annual Sinner Shootout. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go and check it out, what's happening inside the festivities with almost 100 players showing up to win some big bucks here right inside that gate. So let's go check it out. So here we are, October 1st. It's a beautiful early fall day here in Mansfield, Texas. Got the softballers doing their thing, and then right there in the back, we're going to be playing some cornhole today. Some of the best players you'll see here across the Dallas area, including one of our local pros, as it were, Grant Upchurch, and the boys from Sinner Cornhole, and a lot of other quality throwers just inside that building. Really fun format today. Top 32 are about to draft the next 32 in the main tier. And then the second tournament, tier 1, it's got another 32 players. So very unique. I think it's the first time they've done this kind of thing around here, so it should be a lot of fun and good competition. We'll see who Ice Price ends up drafting, and hopefully get lined up with good bags and just good vibes, good strategies together, and good mental focus, and you know, good chemistry basically. So let's see what we got going on today. It's gonna be a fun day here on the Cornhole Journey.
Little lad of time, but he never could get drunk enough to get her off his mind until the night.
How do we spin for the prize here? How do we do this?
Spin for the prize.
Can we do it right now?
Yeah.
You got me? Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Ice Price here, baby. My neighbor, good friend Rick Ellis, and his boys in and out and sponsor something good. So spin the wheel. Thank you, Rick Ellis. All folks in and out. Here we go, Ice Price, baby, for the win.
I want some fries.
Fries? I like fries. Look at fries. Come on. Let's go. All right, Mama, how we feeling? We're at the first annual. It's called Sinner Shootout, I think it is.
I'm excited. I want to see who he drafts. He's nervous, and I'm ready for him to.
It's gonna be fun.
I know. I'm ready for the draft. That's what I'm.
You got your chair. You got your rocking chair.
Got my
Settling for a
soda.
long afternoon.
Yep. Settled in.
All right, okay. I got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Midlothian. Grant Upchurch is joining us on the Cornhole Journey. We are here at Big League Dreams in Mansfield, Texas for, I think it's the first ever. First ever? Sinner Shootout. He's going to tell us all about it. 96-ish players here with several tiers and levels, and a great format, great concept. There's a draft involved. We'll talk about this day, but hey, we're glad to have Mr. Grant Upchurch here. He is former ACL pro who won on the circuit in Vegas about 2 years ago-ish. We'll talk about that. Now he's Mr. TCL, crushing it, part of Sinner Cornhole. And so, Grant, welcome to the Cornhole Journey,
Nice to
man.
be here. Awesome to be here.
We met a couple years ago when I first heard. See, he went to high school with my daughter and my nephew, Lance Tippin and Jenna Price. And Lance one day called me and said, "Hey, there's this guy I went to high school with, Grant Upchurch. He's on ESPN." I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, he's playing cornhole." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "He's from Midlothian High School. He's playing." So that day you squared up against, I think, Mr. Double D, right? David Dennis?
David Dennis, yeah.
And that was, I think it was during Code Wear Mask or
Yeah, it's
something.
mass guys picking up the bags out of the holes, wearing gloves for us. Yep. That was the first time they started limiting the rounds. We're only doing 10 rounds.
So it's a shootout format, basically.
Yes, essentially what I won was the predecessor to the Pro Shootout.
Because of time constraints, because of broadcast TV and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, so on the cornhole journey, we love to talk about cornhole, but we want to find out how each of these guys got into the game. So if you can try in two and a half minutes, like your introduction to the game, how you got, the passion for it, and how you kind of got pretty good at it.
Right. So it all started. I moved in a house with some buddies, and they started bringing some cornhole boards over, just hanging out, throwing bags, and just learning how to play. And my buddy Landon Atterbury, he knew a little bit about cornhole. He knew about Ryan Windsor, those kind of guys, and has watched it before. So he has my throw right now is what Landon's throw was. I just copied him. And which I'm glad he did so. I'm glad he had his form because it kind of translated over to me. And then we went and played in Midlothian League. And
which one?
It's not. They don't run it anymore. It was just at the convention center in the middle of town. There's only like 4 sets of boards, 5 sets of boards set up. The region's not even a region anymore. And
did you start winning early?
Well, we went to open. We immediately played in open, just as all right, we'll be fine. How hard can it be, right? Well, we got 3rd place in open, learned how to play, and that's back when everyone was using, everyone was just now starting to have their own bags. When I say that, I mean slide rights, Reynolds, things like that. So we were throwing slide rights because we're just trying to get on the board,
right? Yeah,
and maybe in the hole, but early on, it was always keep someone else from getting in the hole first. It was before I ever thought about getting in the hole. That's always what I did with those slide rights.
Here, because this has become, I think, the signature style of this man's game. We've played a few times, and I've watched him play a lot. And you're defensively aggressive. He'll put forward if he needs to, but you just assume block and then collect later and reevaluate, see what they do. We played about 2 weeks ago, and he just crushed me because he would just put one right in the middle. I'm like, fine, I'll push one in. I missed a little bit. He goes in. Now it's 5-1 on my second bag, just like that. And so it's not sexy, but it scores, right?
Right.
And so you learn to play that way early, and it fits your thinking, your style.
I think it's just my style of play. I mean, I like the aspect of cornhole where you can prevent someone else from throwing as good as they can throw, right? It's not like bowling where it's just them in the pins or them in the hole in cornhole. I want to put something there to make you uncomfortable, right? And everybody's comfortable sliding in, especially when you get to that higher level. So I want to stop them, make them have to make different shots while I'm making different shots as well. And, I trust my game enough to always be around the hole where everything's easily collectible. I feel like a lot of other people, they always attack the hole all the time. And that's when you have bags on the back of the hole or on the sides where you can't get them anymore. And
you love that. You're just licking your chops at that point.
Yep, exactly.
It's like 3 points for you.
It just gave me backboards. That's all.
So you finished 3rd of this open-ish tournament. Are you still in high school? Are you just out of high school?
So I'm just out of high school.
And then you started to really. You got good pretty quick because by 2019 you're on ESPN, or 2020 you're on ESPN.
So I started, and then in Texas Cornhole League they rank players from D to A players. D players when you're just first starting out. I became an A player in 9 months. They bumped me straight from a D to an A.
Because
just kind of
are you working hours a day on your game?
I don't.
At that point,
I threw a little bit at the house. I mean, I would spend a couple hours, maybe every other day. I'd spend an hour throwing or 2 hours throwing just with my buddies, and we would just be throwing all the time. We lived together, so we'd just be throwing all the time.
Yeah, okay.
And then it was just me playing all the time. I mean, 5 days a week, going somewhere and playing against people, and always playing that same strategy I've always had, and it just grew over time.
It's awesome. Your throw is his throw is very simple. You don't go back. You don't do this business. You stay about right here, and you just kind of you can describe this little bit of a wind-up move, and when you release it, you're barely above your chest. Sometimes you go higher, but not rarely. It's so economical. Is that just because you want to have the least amount of movement as
Exactly.
possible?
I just want it to be as simple. That way, if anything's ever, whatever reason I got hitched in my throw, whatever it is, it's very simple to fix it. It's very simple movement, so I can look at a video and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing wrong, compared to other people's throws where it's like, okay, you're sliding here a little bit, you're finishing over here, and you're finishing lower. I feel like I'm very in a line.
Yeah, you've for sure proven that. So you go on, you play against Damon Dennis, ESPN, you win. And so let's talk about this because his name is known not just in Texas. His name is a national figure. People know him in the ACL, but he no longer plays in the ACL. So walk us through that delicate journey. It was a personal life business decision you made, and everyone knows what happened. Let's just find out, because ACL is cool and TCL is cool, and both, are coexisting now. So kind of walk us through your journey now back here to staying in Texas permanently.
So when I became a pro, there was a guy who was already a pro named Bobby Fink who saw me play and was like, hey, I need a pro partner. Is this something you'd be willing to do? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, if we can get sponsors, things like that, and not a lot of money's come out of my pocket, why not do it? So that's what we did in that first year, and we struggled. I mean, it was a reality check as you go from playing the people you're used to beating around here to playing national people, right?
The big names, the big
Yes,
boys.
it gets tough.
Yeah.
I mean, our first doubles game ever was against Jamie Graham and Frank Modelin. And I mean, and they do 1-1 over there. It's not 2 out of 3 like TCL that I was used to. It's just 1-1, and you're done. So, I mean, that was a quick little okay. And then second game, we had Jay Rubin and his partner,
Jordan?
No, it was Lester. Lester Price. Lester Price. That's the OG partnership they had, and that was our second game, and they were one of the better teams too. And she's like, dude, what's going on? And through the events, me and Bobby, we were just hit and miss. Sometimes we came out rolling, going good, but we finished the year. I go in Vegas. I won the. That's when COVID hit. So in Vegas, I won it's not a pro shootout, but it's whatever it was before that.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was your first ever appearance on national television.
Yes.
Were you nervous?
Yes.
I mean,
say the least. Yes.
Yeah.
So I never really, a lot of people, they'll drink something or do something along those lines to calm their nerves. I didn't. I was just easy goes. There's really no one watching us play, but I know everyone's watching this on TV, right? Yeah. So we get into my first game, and I was nervous. But that's why I had to learn how to deal with it, right? Yeah. And kind of just worked out. And I won. I beat a couple guys. I get to Damon Dennis the day before, kind of the deal to qualify for the tournament. The day before, I played Damon Dennis, and again, it was 10 rounds. I lost 4-2. After 10 rounds.
Because it's only 10 rounds.
Yes. So I lost 4-2.
Defensive battle, crazy.
Yes. So then getting that rematch in the championship on TV, that's when I took off on him pretty good.
You had played him, you knew him, you had studied him.
I mean, I knew at the end of the day, man, as long as I'm in the middle, he's not beating me, right? Yeah. But the same thing for him, because when he gets going in the middle, he's deadly, right? So, I mean, I was pretty comfortable, and looking back on the video, the only thing stupid I did that entire game, ended up working out, is when I tried to and one him. So he had a game changer whip around the back of the hole. In my mind, I'm like, if I slide in, his bag's just going to come right back in or whatever. Thought about it. My earphones died. So I can hear Trey Ryder sitting there talking about, how I might and one out, and my nerves are building. Let it go. I just sink it clean. So I didn't and one, just sink the airmail clean. And then he slides up and goes in the hole, and his bag didn't move. I was like, okay, I'm fine. I ain't got to do this again. I'm not doing this again. I don't care what it is. I am not shooting that again. I slide in, get my 2 points, but I ended up winning like 13-5, something along those lines.
That's about what it was. Yeah.
And he was super nice to me the entire time.
I met him in West Virginia when he was open. Super nice guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but he's been around the block a couple times in those events. So him being on that stage and winning or losing on that stage is not new to him. So he didn't have any sort of harsh and negative reaction.
So you do this ACL splash. He's on national TV. We come back in Lothian, Texas, Dallas area. And then we didn't see you pop up at any more big ACL events, and now we find out you're with TCL. So walk us through that decision, and it's been a good one for you, Grant, professionally, with your career, with your play, with your business. So walk us through that decision.
So I played in TCL during all of this, and at this point in time, TCL is sitting there like, we might not do pros anymore. We might continue to allow them to come play, and at this time, again, the COVID stuff's still going on, and I get furloughed from my job, so it was a aviation place, and just worked on the maintenance of the parts and that kind of thing. And no one was flying, so no parts coming in. That's how that leads to that. So then TCL offered me to come work for them as a full-time job, working from home half the time or so, and then come and doing other things for them. So I took the job with TCL. And it was in cornhole, things I loved, all that.
What were you doing for TCL? Organizing tournaments?
Pretty much everything. I ran corporate events for them, helped run the store for them, helped manage the Facebook Messenger and all that, emails, all that for them. I mean, if you want to just name it, I probably did it at some point in time. Rankings, everything. And ACL finds out that I took a job with TCL, and then ACL reaches out to me and says, "Hey, we view them as a competitor. If you're going to work for the competitor, we don't want you to have a pro card." And I was like, "Okay, as much as you can argue that or disagree with what they're saying, I just said, okay, get it, moving on. I want to take the job.
No hard
right?
feelings.
No hard feelings.
Yeah,
just I'm good." And then,
but you still play in ACL Opens.
So yeah,
you and Sammy won Advanced a few months ago. And
well, that was Worlds. So
I meant to say Worlds. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're actually world champions in Advanced doubles.
Yeah.
Me and Sammy.
In ACL.
In ACL, yes. But with the way they do their opens and stuff now, I really don't know how worth it is to be a pro. Unless you're a top tier pro, you're paying to play.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. So I never thought that made much sense for me to spend all that time traveling and doing all that, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I made the correct decision because I'm in TCL. I don't work for TCL anymore, but I own Sinner Cornhole along with Baron, Ryan, and Les. And we just started Star Cornhole, which is going to help push the brand into high schools. Get more of the younger kid generation into buying bags and playing cornhole. That kind of thing.
Because that's where this young man got his start, post high school, high school area, and so he wants to give back to this area and see the game grow. That's what I love about this guy is it's not just about him. He's thinking of culture and the growth in the area and the region, and so I applaud you for that. So let's talk about Sinner Cornhole. Let's talk about Star Cornhole. New business this launch. You got your swag on right now.
Yeah. So Sinner has been around for a year now.
Okay.
Pretty much exactly on a year. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I could have pictured it to be any better, right? Because I'd say that when I look around at these events, I feel like it's the #1 brand in TCL right now. When it comes to just people wearing the apparel, throwing the bags, I just feel like it's done awesome. And everyone really has hopped on board with the whole idea of Sinner Cornhole, right? And it's just been awesome. I mean, everybody's a sinner. Everybody, it's very easy to take into a negative way, but it's not. It's just, hey, this is one thing we all have in common, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
everybody fits into this.
Yeah.
So it's gone really awesome. And then
are you part of the design of the bags?
So I work with a guy on designing the bags. I give him kind of my ideas of what I want to see on them, and he kind of takes it from there. I wish I was as gifted on the computer designing. No, so Jonathan designs our Big Sinner bags, which is the collaboration brand between Big D Cornhole and Sinner Cornhole. So he designs those, and then I have a guy that he does, Stan Wissing. He designs a lot of stuff nationally for brands, and I have him design a lot of my stuff. And then recently I reached out on Facebook and said, hey, is there any Texas people that are experienced in design and cornhole that want to give it a shot? And this year, the bags I've released have been designed from a guy out in West Texas named Daniel, and he's killing it. I mean, he just incredible detail. He puts awesome time into it, and I can't wait to keep on using him moving forward.
Okay, so from memory, let's test the guy here. There's a lot of bags out there.
Yes.
Okay, so walk us through at least ones you can remember, and if someone's new to cornhole or they want to get better, like me, I'm that kind of like BC player. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working. What do you recommend people play based upon their style? Maryland, Elvis, Greed Max, Envy, Lust, Wrath. So walk us through who should buy what bag.
So when I first started Sinner and I was working on the bags and everything, the Greed and Lust were two bags that were specifically made for me and the style I like to play. It's very controlled style. Bags really don't go off the back. And I'm just focused on playing in or around the hole. I don't need crazy big pushes. I don't need any. It's just in and around the hole. So those, for someone just getting into the game and really just wanting to learn and focus on the fundamentals, the Greed and Lust. Also the Serious with Star Cornhole it has a little bit of more flat fill in it than the Greed, so it's not going to kick as much as the Greed will. So the Greed, I'd say, is more of an advanced version of that bag.
Of the
Serious, yes, of the Star bag.
Of the Serious, okay.
Yes.
Now, I have the Greed Max when I played TCL. Explain the difference between a Greed and a Greed Max. I played Black Sheep baggers as well with ACL, but TCL, so I bought the Sinner. I love your Greed Maxes. So what's the difference?
So the Greed and the Greed Max, the only difference is the Greed is going to be a fuller version of the bag where you can make those more exaggerated cuts and flops and rolls, and you can do that kind of thing if you're a more advanced player to be able to do that. The Greed is more of a, hey, I'm pushing, staying in the middle, blocking, air mailing, but I'm not looking to make massive cuts or make massive rolls or anything like that. That's what the Green Max is really good at.
Okay, so while we're on that topic, I'm going to put myself out there for critique and just help. So I'm going to ask you a question. Coach me here. I bought the Green Maxes for several reasons. One, because I needed a TCL bag. Number two, I noticed that the range of the slow side and the fast side is wide, 3.5-ish to 4 on the slow, and they say it's a 9 on the fast side. So my thinking, Grant, if I'm wrong, correct me, because I'm learning the game, is if I can have the farthest range, then I can adjust and adapt and throw myself a 5, a 6, a 7 based upon the height of the bag. So I wanted the full range of what the Green Max gave me.
Right.
Am I thinking wrong about that?
No, you're basically right. So I like to put on all my bags, I like to put a slick side on there that's definitely faster than the slow side, because the only time anyone ever goes to slick side is for a push. So you want a slick side that's going to push through whatever you need it to. And then you just got to learn how to control it, right? So that's why all my bags have a pretty slick side. And yeah, it's really just arc. That's all it is when you're trying to control a bag. So what I try to explain to people when you deal with a bag that's a little bit faster, or if you're learning how to play, that kind of thing, you want to throw the bag at an angle where it hits the middle of the board and you hear the smack. You want to hear it.
That little pop.
Yes, if you're not hearing a pop,
Yeah.
that means you're throwing it pretty right at it, and it's just going to fly off the back of the board, right? Okay. So you want to hear a pop every single time you throw the bag.
Is that because the bag is landing at a perpendicular level with the slightly angled board? Not this business,
right?
But it's pretty much popping, just like that.
Yes, and it takes a lot of the speed off the bag on your throw, because all that momentum is going straight into the board right there. When you're throwing right at it, it's just the momentum just keeps going, right? That's what when a lot of people go to a faster bag, they struggle with it because they're not used to having to put that arc on there to control it.
Okay, this is a lot like golf, friends. I played golf since I was 13 years old, and you can tell. All you golfers know this. You can tell the sound of a nicely compacted, crisp ball that makes clean contact. You cover the ball versus the one that's kind of like an off-center, a ding. And so in golf, it's the same way. You can almost hear a good shot. So you're saying you can actually hear a good cornhole throw.
Yes. Usually the louder the bag, the better that person is at throwing it. A good example, one of the loudest bags I hear hit the board is Caleb Batson. He puts a lot of rotation on it, and it nails the board every single time. So, yeah, I mean, we did a little coaching thing just the other day with just a little corporate event we did. And that's once I told all the ladies, hey, you want to get that loud noise? All of a sudden, they're all starting to get in the hole, around the hole. So it makes a difference.
I have an episode earlier. It's called How High Should Your Bags Fly? Go watch it. It's not as detailed as what he knows, but I did touch on the topic of, I have 3 levels. I have a low level, a standard, then like a high one based upon what the board's telling me to do, and slick or stick side. So similar concept is factor into the equation, how high does this bag need to fly? Don't just throw it. I mean, that's part of the game, is where's the landing spot versus the height. Marry those together, right? Am I on the right track here?
So a great exercise for that, and it's actually the main thing I did whenever I practiced when I was coming up, is I'd space. So I'd have my board, I'd put my bags, and I'd leave gaps in between them, all the way from the back of the hole to the front of the hole to the middle of the board to the lower board. I'm trying to land in between every single one of them, and then when I get to the hole, airmail clean, then try to end one. So I'm just working.
How many bags are on the board again?
There's 4. So on the back of the hole,
one's at the behind
front of the hole.
Okay.
And then you got one in the middle of the board, and then one at the bottom, yes. And you're trying to land in between. And it helps you work on your height, change the height and the angle of your bag, and you get to learn how to use the entire board. A lot of people don't learn how to use it all. You got to be able to use it all. That's the main thing I work on. It's just touch. That's all cornhole really is touch. And the more touch you have, the better player you typically are. And that's all I worked on while I was trying to get better.
All right, I love this guy. So before we talk about this event here, we're about to, because Sinners as part of it, go ahead and critique me or players like me. So I'll put myself as someone who is, I got this SPR of 63 to 68 varies. I'm at a 7.23. Just, I'm there, but not great. We've played a few times. You've seen my throw. From memory, what would you tell me, and players like me, what can I do, Grant, to get, because I really want to get better, and so do players like me. We're not advanced, we're competitive in competitive.
Right.
And you've actually seen my throw, and it's not perfect. So what would you coach me to get better?
So whenever you hit that competitive level, to me, the biggest thing, like the number one thing you need to do is find what's your identity. What is it that makes you you? Okay. Is it your airmail? Is it your slide? Is it your block? Is it your push? Whatever it is, and then you need to build your game plan from game to game around what you're best at. And then while you're playing, you need to start watching the other person's back flight, what they like to do, and try to make them beat you at what they're bad at while you're throwing what you're comfortable with.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So with some people, they have the tilt on their bags, that kind of thing. It's like, okay, so if they cut it right to left basically every time they throw, even on the slides, it cuts a little bit. Okay, well then you want to set your blocker out a little bit more on the right to give them less room to go right to left. Now they got to try to figure out how to throw a left to right, and they probably have no idea. So you just watch those little things and how they exploit people like that, where they will make a mistake, and that's how you start going up the ranks.
So, okay, so really it's not just working your own game. You got to study other people's games at the same time.
There's something to learn from every single person that plays cornhole.
So even in warm-ups, during the down and backs, and you're studying.
Oh, during the down and back, I am looking to see is your back flat? Is it angled? Like what can I do?
See, we played about a year ago in Rice at a tournament. It's funny because I was so new but getting better. I was amped up, and I got this guy first round, and I had him down 3-2, whatever, Rob, whatever. And suddenly, we're friends. He was encouraging me, in between, but they stopped the tournament. It's timeout. We have to redraft, renumber. Someone showed up late, so our game got just stopped, and I got played with someone else. And later on, Grant was watching me play another player, and he says, "Rob, throw like you were throwing against me 2 hours ago," because I was starting to choke a little bit. I'm like, you know what, Grant, you're right. So he knew that, Rob, you can do this. You weren't doing it at the time because you had seen me play an hour before, and I was hanging with the guy. I know I wasn't going to win, but I was actually for a while there going toe to toe with you for just a little bit.
Yes, and that's the thing about cornhole that's so awesome about it is that nothing is stopping you from being good at it. Anybody can play. Anybody can win.
This is good.
That's the whole thing.
This is good.
At the end of the day, bags on the board are bags on the board. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. So if you see if I'm playing against any of these people and I just have a bag sitting there, who cares if they're playing against me? It's just a bag. You've practiced going around that or whatever it is 1,000 times. Why does it matter who I am, right? So that's the biggest thing that people need to understand is like, man, bags on the board is just bags on the board. Doesn't matter who's throwing them. Yeah, they might make a wonderful shot, but if I'm just sticking to my game plan, you should win.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's good. It's so good. Okay, let's talk about this event here behind us. Were you part of the planning of this? And walk us through actually what this is. This is so cool. It's the first time ever it's kind I've heard of. So walk us through the Sinner Shootout.
So this is the second event that they've ran. It's not the Sinner Shootout. They ran an event before, and what made that event unique was it was like a baby version of this, but they use PPRs in Switch Holios to qualify for this event.
Okay.
So what they do for this event is they have about 15 smaller events that you can show up to, and it's just Switch Holio. So you're playing against 4 random people. You have a random teammate every time, and then you play a little tournament at the end of the night. Well, on those rounders, based on your PPR or for the Sinner Shootout, it was DPR.
DPR for this
so,
one.
When I came to the ones before and they're doing PPR, I noticed that every single person said, "Don't block me." Every person's like, "Don't block me. Get in the hole. We have to have high PPRs."
So a little bit of collusion going on, just
a little bit, but it's every court doing it. Like everyone's doing it, so it's not. I wouldn't say it's unfair. So, but when I saw that, I was like, okay, I don't want that for the Sinner Shootout. I want everybody going for each other's throats the entire time. So DPR, and I think it worked out great. So based on the DPRs, you got 64 people. The top 32 DPRs from those rounders of those smaller events get you draft from the bottom 32 people. That qualified from those events, and then you partnered up for a tournament today, and it worked out pretty great, didn't it? It made it exciting, having a little draft board,
fun. And here's a look at some footage. We'll take a break from this. Here's a look at some footage and details of how this all played out. Watch this.
We're gonna have someone mark if Barron picks Serena's number 40. We'll put 40 here next to Barron's name. We'll mark out Serena on here so you know that she's off the board. On the table over there, there are cheat sheets with all these people listed on it. If you want to go grab one of those sheets so you also have it in front of you, because you can't see the board up here, you can go do that. Okay, Tim's got them right there. If you need one of those sheets, grab it from Tim.
What up, Ice?
Got him, got him. Drafting number 32.
Anybody else?
You get no pick. You get the last guy left.
Yeah, I know.
This is pointless for you, bro.
I don't even need it.
It doesn't even matter.
Use it. Yeah.
You get. Hey, save the best for last.
I get the leftovers.
No, you save the best for last. You're gonna run it back.
I'm hoping people don't show, so I move up.
There you go. Oh my gosh, look at this guy. Let's go, boy.
Want to say thank you for all of you that came out to all the events, the 12 events, 13 events, whatever we had leading up to this. So extremely excited. Yeah, you got the number one pick. That's right. That's right. Very excited about today. I think it's going to be a blast. One of the things that we did promise to the top 64 was jerseys. And so I'm falling on the sword here. Unfortunately, they did not come in time. I apologize for that. But each of you that were in the top 64 did earn a jersey with your name on it. I think you submitted all your information to John or to Todd or to myself. So those will be coming in. And as soon as we get them, we'll be getting to you. Those of you that are in the bottom 32, we wanted to surprise y'all. We got y'all jerseys as well. So you will be awarded jerseys too. So again, unfortunately, they're not here today. We apologize for that. But we appreciate just the support of not only this event, but also Sinner Cornhole, and thank you for being here. So congratulations and good luck to you today.
With that, I will officially open up the Sinner Shootout 2022 draft. Baron Hodo, you are on the clock.
So with the number one pick, I am going to pick my son, Ryan Hodo.
Yeah!
All right, I think they're going to pick over here.
35. All right, Neil. Number 35.
No surprise there. No surprise there.
Neil picks Dwight Straight.
Jeremy O'Connell, you are on the clock.
49, JD.
Oh my God.
John Kay takes number 60, Whitten Aldridge. Ollie. $57. Ollie takes 57, David Sylvia.
Grant Upchurch. Here we go.
They let her slip to me. I want to take Betty Seymour all day long. Give me Betty. Come on.
Grant takes 48, Betty Seymour.
So anyway, that's how the draft kind of unfolded. Pretty cool, huh? To kind of see people like,
Yes.
I want you. It was almost like, dodgeball in third grade again.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
And
awesome.
it's really cool. And I think as the event grows and you get different people in there, it's going to be awesome. Like it's. I think there's a lot of potential for this to be a really cool thing down the road.
What's interesting is I got lucky. I made the top 32. I was ranked number 23. He was ranked 27, 28, which is ridiculous. I just had one good luck. And I came almost every night that had it. I had one good night, 2.1 DPR, whatever. And so just by sheer volume, I had one lucky night. I got a nice high
Right.
draft. You only came one time that I remember.
Right.
And of course, he's going to qualify. He did good, not great. You did good enough.
Yeah, I did.
And
Yeah.
so you finished top 32. But my point is, on any given night, whether you win the tournament or your DPR, you put you as a qualifier.
Yes.
So there's some really good players who didn't make the main tier, like Frank Stockton and Ish. Some of these guys who are much better than me, they're playing in the lower tier. So it's just kind of crazy how it all kind of washed
But
out.
for those players specifically, they don't play that DPR. They don't play and get a big DPR at the end of their games. They're bag for bag. They want to play 30 rounds, and at the end of it, they throw a 10 and you throw a 9, right? That's not a big DPR. That's only like 0.3 per frame or something like that. So it makes you play different. It makes you make big shots.
Last few questions here. To walk us through some of the friendships, relationships, just your personal life, how it's been enriched playing this game the last 2 or 3 years, and you know, you're a well-known guy and you're a very opinionated guy. And so, but just walk us through how you've grown as a person, as a businessman, as a player, as a man in this game.
So it's kind of crazy going from, I guess, 4 years ago to now. Even over the last year, just a life change. I mean, the girl I'm dating right now, I met through Cornhole. She finished as Woman of the Year. I met the Hodos. There's pretty much 90% of my friends. I actually have one friend that I talk to still week from week that's from high school. Everyone else is Cornhole. It's just Cornhole people. And a lot of great relationships. Everyone's so friendly. I met the Hodos. I started Sinner Cornhole. I did that with my buddy. And then I knew the Hodos for about 8 months of that time. And then they approached me about wanting to buy into it to help me take it to another level. And sure enough, they did. They got into it, and they started. They haven't done a full year with me yet. That'll be in January. January 1st is technically their full year with me. But we started Star Cornhole with them.
Star Cornhole, you mentioned to get high school players in the game. Is it a different type of bag, an easier bag to land? And how does it work with local high schools, local ISDs?
So the way I did the Star Cornhole bags is the fill I put in there is meant for them not to really kick left and right at all. They play pretty smooth.
What does that mean, Grant? The fill, it's the little pellets?
Yes.
Are they round or flat? They're flat? They're flat?
So these pellets specifically are flat. So that's going to help them stay smooth and straight. When you get the round fill, they're going to get a little bit looser of a bag, but you're also going to get a bag that's going to cut harder.
And roll better, right?
Yes.
Is that
but
correct?
Your normal slide from slide might have a little kick on you if you're not 100% on it every single time. Compared to flat fill, which even if you're a little bit off or whatever it is, it's going to stay pretty straight.
Okay, now I can tell the difference because I played enough, but one time I took an old bag and I cut them open, another bag, cut them open, I could see the actual pellets because I wanted to know, what am I throwing? So the inside of the pellets, they're like small tiny little BBs, the round ones. And then the ones that are kind of like flat or like little mini like pancakes or almost like little wafers, right?
Yes.
So if you're playing cornhole and you get serious into it and you want to know that feels different, you can tell, but if you got some old bags and you don't mind like sacrificing them, cut them open and look and see what is the fill, right?
If you got some old bags, definitely open it up, just look inside and be like, because it makes you understand, I guess, things a little bit more once you actually see like, okay, this is what I'm throwing, right? Yeah. Especially with the shapes of fills and stuff. People need whenever I think I took a real big jump out of nowhere, it's because I spent a lot of time just diagnosing myself, taking videos of myself when I practice, changing things. Even if I knew it wasn't right, I just want to see what the bag would do. That's how I learned how to throw a left to right. That's how I learned to throw a right to left. I sat there and messed with the bags and see what they did and try to make that a consistent deal. And you can load up beads in certain areas of the bag when you throw. You can change your grip a little bit to make you spin more, spin less. There's so many things you can do, but people don't spend the time of trying to break down their own throw and understand it to apply it in games.
So good. Is this the winning team right here? Frank and Audrey?
It is.
Winner, chicken dinner? Okay. Have y'all already played your rounders?
Yes.
How'd y'all do? We're practicing.
We're practicing.
There it is. Okay, that's all that matters. That's right. All right, good luck. What up, T-Man, for the cornhole journey. Oh, he's got some tough comp down there. The boys can throw. Meanwhile, the gentleman, Judson the gentleman here, making an appearance on the cornhole journey here. I like that jersey, man. That's fresh.
Fresh to death. 903 apparel.
Let's go. Boink. You guys just doing your little rounders here? Little rounders action. Feeling good? What a fun day, man.
Feeling real good.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll close with this. So we've talked about maybe one day seeing in this area a place like this, like a permanent location, like the bowling alleys of yesteryear are dying. And do you see like facilities, defined just for cornhole, having 20, 30, 40 courts, having local tournaments, local blind draws, high schools, and then just in general, talk about where you see the game growing as a whole.
Right. So I do think the game's going to explode a lot because what makes this game so awesome is you do get the interaction, you do get the anybody play, anybody can win kind of mentality, but you're not sore when you go home. You know, you can go do competitive stuff and not be going home and hurting compared to, you know, going and playing softball, going and trying to do a little flag football league, whatever it is.
Even golf is going to wear you out.
Exactly. And golf is super expensive. Not saying that cornhole can't be sometimes, but if you just want to get one set of bags and go throw bags, you can. And that's why I like it. It's just, again, anybody can do it. There's not one person that can. There's literally a kid with his legs are, from whatever happened to, are amputated above his knee, and I think both of his arms as well. But he plays cornhole and he ain't bad. He pinches the bag with his arms and he'll lunge and throw it, and the dude can throw. I mean, that's what I'm saying is that literally anybody can do this. There is no excuse. And it just if you're a competitive guy, it helps you go get that competitiveness out, you know? And then the wives, like, again, my girlfriend, she's
There's a lot of couples that play out here.
Like, so yeah, Haley's awesome at cornhole and she's only getting better, right? And still working hard at it. And the women are not out. It's not out of their realm to beat the guys. If anything, it's even playing field. Anything can happen. I mean, Cheyenne Renner is one of the top ACL pros, and no one wants to see her name pop up to play, right? So it really is for anybody. I mean, Sammy, who's I won Worlds with, he's 14 years old. I mean, it's just a kid. Anybody. Damon Dennis is in his 60s, and now, you know, he was still making the TV broadcast. Anybody can do this, and I just think that's why it's going to keep on growing. It's because anybody can do it. You can go be competitive. You're not sore when you can go home. It's relatively easy to set up and do. So I think you're going to see a lot more venues in the future.
Actual investors putting money into a structure that's just for cornhole. You have Rock Hill ACL's headquarters, so something along those lines?
Right, something along those lines. But, I mean, I have a few ideas to make it even a better experience. But
well, do share if you can.
I don't know. I don't worry about
Are they DL? Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't worry about
snatching my
ideas. Yeah. But I do think that there's ways to really elevate it and make it into something awesome.
Yeah. Good.
So I don't know. The season just started, so we're going to see how it goes. I mean, I got big center bags rolled out, the Elvis and the Maryland. John and I are also working on a bag break-in, kind of serum or conditioner or whatever it is.
A toss sauce version?
Yes, a version of toss sauce, but I mean, kind of our own take of it. We're going to do a bunch of different experimenting on our bags to figure out what we like, because I do think that TCL is missing that. Everyone's still kind of trying to figure out how to break in bags, right?
Did I hear, absolutely, did I hear that you are starting a podcast or thinking about doing one with Jonathan?
Yeah, so we're slowly working this way. We just got so many projects we're doing right now, but we're going to do a podcast called the Texas Cornhole Podcast, and it's going to be us traveling from region to region and talking to guys and taking videos with our drone and everything of the venue and really showing off places and talking to the directors about their players, what they're trying to bring to the table, what they want to do in the future. That way people can really start putting faces and buildings to the region they see on Scoreholio, right? So I hope it does better, makes the regional directors expand a little bit more. And then we're also going to do kind of like an uncensored version where at AJ's Auto Body, we're going to bring in a couple of the top guys that, you know, I've been playing this game for a while and just talk to them, just hang out, you know, drinking beer and let's talk about cornhole. And, you know, over the last, like Brandon Greger, over the last 10 years, dude, just tell me about some stuff.
He's an OG, right?
Yes, big time.
He's been around a while.
Yes, I mean, so I'm excited about that too, because I do think the more media stuff we do, it's just really going to help the game grow.
Something just like this. So, hey, keep us posted what you're doing. You're welcome to come back anytime, and we'll plug your stuff. And thanks for your time here.
Absolutely.
Bringing us on the cornhole journey. And we both got knocked out, so we had some time today.
Yeah.
And, you can't win all the time.
Yeah, right? It can't be your day every day. You know?
All right, God bless you.
All
Man.
right.
Thanks a lot. Okay, we'll see you next time right here on the cornhole journey. Take care. Okay, Ice Price here, baby. We've reached the final four of the main bracket, and pretty intense here.
Right.
Got the Dwight Neal, the JD, his partner, and down there you got Caden Miller and his dad, John Miller, against Zach Harris, his partner. So we are winding down this Sinner Shootout. I got out early. Horrible today, bad. But having fun, meeting more people. Had a great conversation with Grant Upchurch. Go see here. Cornhole journey. I think it's a success. A lot of folks have cleared out now at this point. A lot of folks have packed up their stuff and gone on to enjoy the rest of their Saturday. So anyway, congratulations guys, all those who organized this event. It's fun stuff, and we'll have a winner here pretty soon. Look for it on social media, Facebook posts, whatnot. Check your Scorholio. All right, man, Ice Price, I'm out.
Never stop dreaming. Never stop. Never stop dreaming.